So what's going on YouTube? So for today's video, I got y'all with a different type of video, man. We're gonna go over what I think are the best Warzone Season 5 settings in the game right now, whether you play for console or PC. You know, we just had the Season 5 update this week, and I got y'all with the best settings for the game. If you guys enjoy any part of this video, make sure to like the video up and subscribe to the channel. I'm bringing you guys banger content into the end of Warzone, all the way into New Warzone and Modern Warfare 2, man. So make sure you like the video up and help me out and hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the settings, man. So if you guys didn't know, I like to play on controller. I don't play keyboard and mouse. So I don't have the best keyboard and mouse settings, so I skip over that section. If you didn't know, I stream throughout the week on Twitch. That stream link will be in the description below. Make sure to come to the stream and say what's up. So now let's go ahead and get into what I think are the best graphic settings. Now I've taken bits and pieces from different of my favorite content creators as far as settings for my Warzone. You know, I like to follow like people like JGod or Webzy that offer great Warzone settings for graphics or for controllers. I'm gonna put their YouTube links in the description below. Make sure to go and subscribe to their channels, man. They're great for news and updates and for settings videos. Starting off at the top, I like to play on full screen. It helps me see the map, helps me see anybody that I'm fighting with. I have a Dell monitor I play on. I play on 1080, so I haven't got 1440 yet. I'm working on getting a 1440 monitor. So as of right now, I play on 1080. But if you're able to get a 1440p monitor, make sure to play on 1440. I mean, in crazy graphics, you can see players a lot better. I have a 3070 in my PC. I have my monitor. It has a 240 refresh rate, so make sure you select the right refresh rate. It might default at a lower refresh rate, so make sure you have the correct one set. Like I said, I play on 1080, so I have that set for my display resolution. I have dynamic resolution disabled. Dynamic resolution frame rate target is at 60. Automatic aspect ratio. I have sync every frame, VSync disabled. For my custom frame rate limit, I like to play on custom. I have it set to 300 for my gameplay, so that way I'm getting the most frames I can get out of my PC and out of my monitor. So I have it set at 300, even though my monitor tops off at 240 frames. I have that set at 300. So my menu and the autofocus are set at 30. That way I'm just getting the maximum set of frames I have for my gameplays, and I'm not using my RAM or the power of my PC for like the menu or anything like that, or autofocus where I can't see. I have my brightness set at 59.3. You know, that's personal preference. Just kind of, you know, test it out. Make sure that, you know, you're comfortable with your own brightness. I have my display gamma at 2.2. NVIDIA highlights are disabled, and NVIDIA reflex low latency at enable plus boost. So sorry to all my console fellows, my console brothers. You know, you guys are gonna have some of these options, man. If you're ever able to buy one, I recommend definitely switching to PC, especially for Call of Duty. It's such an upgrade, man. You'll love it. You got to get used to the FOV eventually, but you know, having the FOV slider for Warzone it's OP, man. So for my field of view, I like to play on 120. Some people recommend 110, 107. I play on 120. You know, yeah, some of the you know, enemies might look a little small at distance, but it just helps out just in close range fights. You just have the whole field of view. And also I recommend playing on affected, especially for controller. You know, it just makes you a laser beam, no recoil. So if you ever wonder why PC players have no recoil, it's probably because of the effective FOV. I know a lot of key and mouse players might suggest independent, but I suggest affected. I have my camera movement set to the least amount of camera movement, so not too much shaking of the camera, especially during like kill streaks. My render resolution is going to be 100. My streaming quality is at normal. My texture resolution is at low. You can even go very low if you want even more frames. If you want a better quality, you know, picture, you can go normal or even high, but that's going to take away from your frames. I found low to help me out the most. Texture filter, I got high. Particle quality, I got high. Bullet impact and sprays, I have disabled, just so I'm not fooled by any of those fake bullet sprays or those fake enemy sprays. I hate those. Tessellation on disabled. Dismembering gore effects on disabled. I have on-demand texture streaming on disabled. I've got filmic strength, film grain on 0.0. NVIDIA DLSS, that's disabled. You can play around with that. Some people like to recommend like quality or performance for DLSS. I just don't use it. I just put on the video filters. Anti-aliasing I have on filmic SMAA T2X. Depth of field I have disabled. World motion blur I have disabled. Weapon motion blur I have disabled. Shadow map resolution I have on low. Cash spot shadows I have on disabled. Cash sun shadows I have on disabled. Particle lighting I have on low. Direct X ray tracing I have disabled. Ambient occlusion I have disabled. And screen space reflection I have disabled. So I just finished all my graphic settings. Let me know in the comments section if you have any other recommendations for what I should do with my graphic settings. Also, let me know in the comment section if you play on 1080 versus 1440. Let me know if I should definitely move to 1440, because I'll definitely put my mindset and invest towards a 1440p monitor. So we're going to go ahead and get into the interface settings. These are pretty quick. I have subtitles on disabled. Colorblind type, I have it on this. Let me do the Terranopia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Looks like it's the second option. Some people play on Try. Those colors are just a little too freaky for me. I have colorblind target on both. 2 tips on enabled. Some of these don't really matter. I have my HUD bounds display on 100. The mini map I have it set to square. Round, you don't see all the that much more of the mini map as square does. You get more of the mini map on square. I like to look at the mini map while I play, so definitely put it on square. I have it on rotation as well, so whenever you're moving, the mini map's moving in your direction, so it helps out. I've shown compass because I use the compass as well for call outs. Let's see. So these are some of the new update settings for the season 5 update that just happened this week that they added to the settings, and these are great settings. These should have already been in Warzone, but they just added it, so better late than never. That's what I like to say. So I've closed buy station on purchase. I have that enabled because I like as soon as I buy something that it closes. That way, if an enemy is running up or something like that, I can just immediately act. That's kind of how it was before, but you have the options now. Default to focus on first item, loadout item, and drop. I have that disabled because I like to have a lot of my loadouts just in case, depending on the videos I'm going for, they might be in different order. I don't want the first selection to be picked when I pick loadout. So if in the pre-lobby, if I select the 4th option during the pre-lobby, I want that to be the option that's highlighted in game. So, it's up to you. It's personal preference, but I disabled it. Let's see. I have text chat enabled, profanity filter enabled. Some of these don't really matter. I've got my frames and my server latency and packet loss showing. I don't have my temperature or time showing. That's kind of for more of the PC players. If you want to show all that, that's personal preference as well. So for my audio settings, I have it on boost high. I've got it the max master volume. I have the music volume down so I can hear footsteps. Dialogue volume to 35. Effects volume up all the way to 100. Cinematics volume all the way up to 100. I have the Juggernaut music disabled. I like all that music disabled because in game the music doesn't really matter. If you like the music, that's up to you, but I don't play with music on. The hit marker sound, I have the classic. I love the classic hit marker sound. Let's see. And then those are all just my microphone and headphone settings. So lastly, we're gonna go over my controller settings. I play on stick and move. I play with Xbox Elite controller with Control Freaks on. Not sponsored by Control Freaks, but I recommend definitely using Control Freaks. I have precision rings on mine as well. I use Elite controller because I got my paddles on my back. But if you have a scuff or an aim controller, I like recommending using paddles because if you're not playing claw, it's just an easier way to get your slide cancels in and everything like that. Let's see. I play on 0.05 for both my dead zones. That just depends on how much stick drift I have. I have 0.99 for both my dead zones. I just recently changed from 6.6 sensitivity on both my sticks to 8.8 because of the precision ring. I can kind of up my sensitivity, so I went to 8.8 and I feel comfortable at 8.8. Depending on your preference, I like to use for all my zooms 0.8 custom sensitivity. That way, whenever I ADS, it slows it down, so I'm not overreacting to my targets when I'm zoomed in on any of the optic sites. So I use 0.8. But you're going to have to play around with that. I know a lot of people use other ADS sensitivities. Aim response, curve type, I have dynamic. Control vibration, I have disabled. This is a new settings that should have been on since Warzone started, man. And that's gas mask is toggle only. I personally have it disabled because I'm used to it automatically putting on when I enter the gas. But I might play around with it enabled. I might use enabled, later down the road once I get used to toggling. I just have to see how you toggle the gas mask on and if it comes on automatically. So I gotta see that in action, but I have it disabled right now. Aim assist I have on standard. Scale aim assist with FOV I have disabled. Weapon mount shared input I have ADS plus melee. Let's see. Aim down sight behavior I have hold. Steady aim I have hold. Equipment behavior I have hold. Use and reload behavior I have contextual tap. Depleted ammo weapon switch I have enabled. Armor plate behavior I have apply all. That way you can just hold down and it just applies it all instead of having to keep pressing apply for the armor. For my slide behavior, I have tap. That way I'm slide canceling pretty quickly. Auto move forward I have disabled. Tactical sprint I have single tap from run. Auto sprint I have auto tack sprint on. That way when I move forward it automatically tack sprint. So because I'm in the mix usually. I'm in the close range fight, so I like auto tack sprint. Vehicle camera recenter I have enabled, and parachute auto deploy I have disabled. Let me know in the comment section if you like my settings or if there's something I should change that I should look into changing. Also, let me know what you all use for your settings, whether it be the new ones that just got added for the Season 5, or if you play on keyboard and mouse or controller, man. Make sure to like the video up, man. I'm trying to bring you guys a lot of content going forward and going into the new games this year. So make sure to like the video up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.